Yukteswar Jira most intense quotes. Yukteswar was an educator, astronomer, a Jyotisha, Vedic astrologer, a yogi, and a scholar of the Bhagavad Gita and the Bible. Yukteswar took on many disciples. Most famously, he was the beloved guru of Paramahansa Yogananda, who brought yoga to the West through moving to America, and through his book, Autobiography of a Yogi, which mentions Yukteswara extensively. Here are some of his most intense quotes. Victorious over the powers of darkness and ignorance, man becomes one with God. So long as you breathe the free air of earth, you are under obligation to render grateful service. He alone who has fully mastered the breathless state is freed from cosmic imperatives. Ignorance is the perception of the non-existent, and the non-perception of the existent. When the carnivorous animal finds prey, he boldly seizes the prey and greedily laps the jetting blood. On the contrary, the herbivorous animal refuses his natural food, leaving it untouched, if it is sprinkled with a little blood. In men we find they cannot bear even the sight of animal killings. Slaughterhouses are always recommended to be removed far from the towns. Can flesh then be considered the natural food of man, when both his eyes and his nose are so much against it, unless deceived by flavors of spices, salt and sugar? When divine love becomes well developed, ignorance, Maya, begins to be withdrawn. When love appears in the heart, it removes all causes of excitation from the system and cools it down to a perfectly normal state, and, invigorating the vital powers, expels all foreign matters, the germs of disease, by natural ways, perspiration and so forth. It thereby makes man perfectly healthy in body and mind. We favor those persons whose magnetism affects us harmoniously, who cool our system, internally invigorate our vitality, develop out natural love, and thus relieve us of our miseries and administer peace to us. Everything in future will improve if you are making a spiritual effort now. Existence, consciousness and bliss are the three longings of the human heart. When man directs his organs of sense through which he enjoys, towards the object of his desire, he can never be satisfied, and his desires increase in double force. On the contrary, if he can direct his organs of sense inward towards his self, at that time he can satisfy his heart immediately. Ignorant people in their blind faith would accept a piece of wood or stone as their savior or divinity in the external creation, for which their heart's natural love will develop till by its energetic tendency it will relieve them of all exciting causes, cool their system down to a normal state, and invigorate their vital powers. The adepts, on the other hand, having full control over the whole material world, find their divinity and savior in self and not outside in the external world. Bliss is attained by being able to direct all his attention inward. He becomes capable of satisfying all the wants of his heart and can thereby gain contentment, Ananda, the real bliss. Consciousness of all the modifications of nature up to its first and primal manifestation, the word, Om, and even of his own real self, gradually appears. Bliss is attained by being able to direct all his attention inward. He becomes capable of satisfying all the wants of his heart and can thereby gain contentment, Ananda, the real bliss. Consciousness of all the modifications of nature up to its first and primal manifestation, the word, Om, and even of his own real self, gradually appears. Existence involves knowing the difference between what's real, what really exists and what does not. When man withdraws all the developments of ignorance, in this way, Freed from the control of this creation of darkness, he comprehends his own self as indestructible and ever-existent real substance. So Sat, the existence of self, comes to light. When the heart becomes perfectly purified, instead of merely reflecting the spiritual light, it actively manifests it. Entering the kingdom of spiritual light, he becomes Christ-like. There is a deeper astrology, not dependent on the testimony of calendars and clocks. Each man is a part of the Creator, or cosmic man. He has a heavenly body as well as one of earth. The human eye sees the physical form, but the inward eye penetrates more profoundly, even to the universal pattern of which each man is an integral and individual part.